Welcome to WNCU Cares Artist Series on this Friday, this very beautiful August 14th. I hope you're in for a treat because I have a gentleman by the name of Brandon Mitchell in the seat at W Cares Artist Series, and he actually ended the set and opened the set with a song you just heard. It was entitled Black Guardian, and that's taken from his album with the same name. That was the title track on his album, and he has a mighty fine musicians. But before he gets on the mic and I share some things, I would love to share some things with you. He is originally from Washington, D.C. Brandon Mitchell is an active vibraphonist in the North Carolina music scene, and I'm curious to know if he's still active during this time and things that are happening. But after recently completing his master's degree in jazz studies at North Carolina Central University and the Bachelor of Arts degree in percussion performance from Elon University, Brandon has had the opportunity to perform all over the East Coast, including Maryland, New Jersey, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, to name just a few. He's toured abroad to Italy several times, including performances at the Jazz It Festival, Teatro Piccolo in Milan, and Noche Bianca performance in front of the Duomo. And he'll talk further about that. And he's also had the opportunity to perform next to some of the greats, including Branford Marsalis, Joey Calderazzo, John Metzger, and John Fedok. And I'm butchering names. So without further ado, I want to introduce Brandon Mitchell to the mic. And how are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me this afternoon, Serena.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
This is so cool. I love it when friends of friends say, hey, you need to get such and such in the studio. And here we are.
Here we are, right?
So let's talk about, before we jump into your EP, the build-up of your EP in your life. You started playing percussion, or was it another instrument that you started?
So I actually started back in like fourth grade elementary school. I was first playing the clarinet.
Okay.
So I played the clarinet for about 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
And once I got to middle school, my band director was like, all right, you look a little awkward.
Oh.
Like, I know you're trying to switch off, get off of it. So he actually let me switch to percussion.
Okay.
Right around the same time Drumline came out.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay.
So
okay.
it was super big for people then.
Oh, yes.
And then it just kind of stuck from that point on.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's sticking because it sounds good. I haven't heard you on set yet, but I definitely heard you on vibraphone, and you sound great.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So you went to Elon College for Elon University.
Elon University now.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Elon, yeah, that's major. I mean, college is a part of a university, right? So you went there. You studied performance.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, yes, ma'am. We're like the same age.
Seeing, yeah, you're
kind
seeing
of.
I guess the roots come out.
Look, exactly. I do the same thing. No problem. But yeah, you studied jazz performance. Now, did you study, you transcribed a lot of solos. Is that like the nature of the jazz studies department at Elon University?
So Elon was kind of weird because technically I studied classical percussion performance.
Okay.
But my mentor and my director, Jan Metzger, he's a really good jazz vibraphone player, to say the least. But he was my mentor. So I did have the opportunity to study a lot of jazz and go through a lot of, the work of transcribing and really practicing and shedding under the influence of him. So I'm just super thankful and super grateful for that.
So you transcribed his solos?
Yeah, a lot of his solos. Yeah, marimba solos, vibraphone solos.
World-class musician.
Absolutely. Toured all around Europe and played with some of the greatest as well. So
did he set you up for traveling the world? Or was that something that you always wanted to do? I don't know, was it an outlet for you to actually travel?
For sure. Since I was a young kid, I've always had the opportunity to go to different places and countries just because of my parents.
Yeah.
Take a lot of vacations and stuff. So
lucky you.
I'm
very
lucky. Blessed and very fortunate for that.
Yes.
So from a young age, I kind of had that idea of like culture and understanding different cultures mean different things. So once I got to college, I definitely wanted to study abroad, utilize that opportunity and go somewhere where I can share my culture, specifically with the music and jazz music. And Europe is one of the perfect places for it.
How long did you stay in Europe?
So I studied abroad there for about 3 months.
Okay.
It was like a spring semester.
All right.
And
Crash
then,
course.
Yeah, basically
Wow.
studying jazz studies and Italian studies.
Really?
So I did learn some Italian. I've lost a lot of it. So
I'm gonna ask you.
Don't actually.
Okay. We'll hold it on.
But I did do that nevertheless, and then pretty much every following summer after that, except this past summer, I have been back performing and just playing over there, and kind of trying to be one with the community in a sense.
I mean, if you are a musician, you are one with the community, the global community. So you were in Italy and you were performing. Now, jazz has a foundation of sounding, it has that foundation that you know what jazz is. So what was different about the jazz in Italy versus the U.S.? So is there a difference?
Yeah, I would definitely say there was a difference. My initial thought was there's less rhythm happening. So the biggest difference in what I heard was really a lot of what the drummers were doing.
Okay.
Now, I'm biased because I'm a percussionist, so that's what I'm listening for first. But definitely not as strong of a beat or as strong as a rhythm as, say, like American jazz. It's really accustomed to happen. It's much more open, much more free in a sense. But that's not to say it's any better or worse. It's just kind of what their cultural take on jazz is over there, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah. So the core of jazz is more so rhythm. Is that what you're getting at?
Well, here in America.
In America, let me qualify.
I would say here in America, it's certainly rhythm, and certainly coming from that rhythmic foundation in the bass.
Okay, so and then free in Italy, if you could say. Cool. All right, it sounds good. Sounds like a plan to me. Now, why did you name your album Black Guardian?
So the concept behind Black Guardian was to go against the grain and to find different ways and different outlets to not be within commercialized America or commercialized society. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's underground, right? Like I'm not a mixtape artist or something like that, but just to find different ways to keep trying to stretch the music of jazz and keep trying to find ways to make it, I guess, enjoyable for people who listen, people of the commercial culture. Let me say that.
So you're connecting, you're bridging worlds.
Trying to find ways to bridge the world.
Or bridge a genre.
Absolutely.
2 or 3.
Absolutely.
Because I heard, so the first song, Black Guardian sounded like you were mixing some type of, I'm not gonna say pop, but what would you classify it as mixing?
Well, it's certainly jazz at the core for sure. And I think some of the songs on the album kind of mix styles, but even just with the melodies themselves, like trying to make sure that it's something that's singable, something that people can relate to, something that, when they turn their phones off 20 minutes from now, they still have the song stuck in their head because they just can't help it.
Okay.
Right? So kind of looking at it even from just the musical foundational aspect as well.
Yeah. Well, more of that to come. Up next, we're going to hear some more of your album. So, Legacy. Why did you name the song Legacy? So,
this was one of the songs. I am an alumni of North Carolina Central University.
Yes.
NCCU Pride.
Eagle Pride. It was an Amplified,
right. And for my graduate recital, I had to write a few original compositions.
Okay.
And this was one of the last songs that I wrote for it. And I named it Legacy almost because I thought of it as my legacy, to not even just NCCU, but just kind of to my imprint on the music here in Durham in general.
Yes. Okay, well, let's hear your legacy right now. Your imprint on the world. You're listening to WNCU Cares Artist Series with Brandon Mitchell. So tasteful. 90.7 WNCU member-supporter radio. You're listening to the WNCU Cares Artist Series with Brandon Mitchell, vibraphonist Brandon Mitchell. That was nice at the end.
Thank you so much.
Did you think about that at the end to do, or did you write it out? What did you? Just went for it.
It actually started off as a whole cadenza.
Okay.
At the end, and then in the production process, we decided to cut it a little short.
Okay.
Partially for time, partially because the artist was like, it's not good enough, So we kind of cut it short and just let it fade out. We thought it was a nice way to end the track.
Very nice way to start and end, for sure, because I wanted to hear more. You have great ideas, great conceptual ideas. I think that's what makes a jazz musician, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Part of it is the ideas. I feel like the other part of it is just having the great musicians to actually play it. Mm-hmm. The music lives on paper when it's first created, but after you give it to the musicians and they kind of practice it, they're the ones who really bring it to life. So shout out to all the musicians who played on the track and who are still playing live in general in the world, right? Don't lose out to the computer in Ableton.
Exactly. Don't lose it. Don't lose your humanity. Oh my goodness. So did you know that you were going to have these artists on your album?
I had an idea of a few people who I wanted to use, kind of plotting a little bit as the years went on. We became better friends and just started to understand each other musically more. Yeah. So at that point, everybody was kind of willing and down, and I'm just super fortunate for that at the end of the day.
Yeah, I remember listening when you sent me the music, and I heard the first opening line. It was like maybe about 5 notes that you played, and I said, "Oh yeah, I like this already." And I scrolled down to see who was on the track, and on the album. I said, "Oh yeah, I'm good. We're in a good place. I already know these musicians are going to sound, and they're going to represent." And they did, showed out, and proved to be fine musicians indeed.
Absolutely. I think they're staples in the music community here in Raleigh and Durham. So
and you too.
Yes, yes, for sure. But I wanted to make sure that they are the real representation here, especially when it comes to Durham and North Carolina Central, as a few of them are still there now. For sure.
Well, shout out to you, everybody, Dorian, Sam, and whoever else is listening. Graham. Yes. So tell me about and tell us about the Heart of Carolina Jazz Orchestra by Greg Gelb. I know you were featured as an artist.
Yeah, so right back before the pandemic really hit, about the end of February, I had the opportunity to be a featured artist for one of their shows at the Temple Theater out in Sanford, North Carolina. Okay. And so what the theme of the show was to represent the Modern Jazz Quartet. So we played strictly music from the Modern Jazz Quartet, but we shared the stage with the Heart of the Carolina Jazz Orchestra. So they played a few tunes. We came on, played a few tunes, kind of threw it back and forth. And it turned out to be a great night, packed house, and absolutely a perfect event.
Oh, wow. I wish I were there. I wish I were at your recital. Because you played most of the songs that are on your album. At your recital?
Yeah, I would say probably about half of the songs were originally written for my graduate recital here at North Carolina Central University. Yeah. And they were performed there with most of the same musicians. Okay. A few substitutions just at the time, but
yeah. I definitely missed that invitation. I don't know. I guess you didn't have my address then.
Right.
So
I got you next time.
WNCU Cares Artist Series with Brandon Mitchell. We're streaming online at WNCU.org, and I'm excited and anxious. Can I put that word together, those words together, to play more of your music?
Please.
I know we have Transparency up next, but I want to know, why did you write the song? Why did you call the song What Went Wrong? What went wrong?
So what went wrong is the question that is based in everybody's life.
Okay.
We all kind of have these times in life where we're doing some self-reflection. Things may not be going exactly how we want it to. So we really have to kind of look in the mirror and ask ourselves, like, what went wrong? What did happen in a sense? And so the song is kind of built to help convey those emotions, to really make one contemplate in a sense, and really think about some of their decisions and their actions, whether or not it's positive or negative, right? But just thinking a little further and trying to do a little bit more self-reflection is the goal here.
So you're a philosopher.
Far from that, but I am a pretty heady dude. I do like to, think and conceptualize things a lot. So.
And put it into musical form. Wow. So you write the melodies. Now, when I hear the melody, I hear a song. I hear someone singing it. Do you sing, or do you write poetry to your lyrics? To your melody, rather?
No, I'm not a writer in any sense.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, I am a terrible
Scratch
writer. I will be the first one to say that. I'm not a singer neither, although I know how to match pitch.
Okay.
Like as a, musician, we know how to do basic singing and stuff. So I do kind of sing a little bit and try to help me to base melodies off of. For me on the vibraphone, because we can't bend notes, right? It's not like a saxophone or a trumpet or something. So I really did spend a lot of time listening to singers at a younger age and trying to learn how to emulate some of those styles, stylistic elements and bring it over to that vibraphone. I think that probably has kind of slipped over into my composition as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the ideas are really connected, and I hear somebody singing on those, but that's good because you say you wanted your music to be singable.
Absolutely.
20 minutes later after you finish hearing it, so yeah, you're right on the money.
I mean, if you think about it, most common people, right, they relate to songs more than anything because of the lyrics, because of what they are able to sing in it. So if you're able to sing a melody, even without the words, so it's going to be just as appealing or just as catchy to someone too.
Yeah. Wow. Good words. True indeed. Well, let's play some more of your music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Transparency.
Let's do it.
Let's save that description for after the song is over. You're listening to WNCU Cares Artist Series with Brandon Mitchell. 90.7 WNCU member-supported radio. Wow. Transparency. That's your song. So who are you seeing through? Who are you allowing to see through you?
Well, I'm trying to start off by seeing through myself.
Okay. I told you were a philosopher.
Well, just times of, like I said, self-reflection. I think these past few months, with everyone being stuck in the house and there's such crazy and uncertain times that I feel like a lot of people have been doing this like self-reflection, right?
Oh yeah.
Trying to figure out how to make themselves better people, how they can be better after all of this kind of comes to a conclusion. And I just think this tune kind of helps to spur on that mindset.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could see myself listening to this in several places, riding in a car, going to the beach for sure, the mountains, let me see, cleaning, what else? Practicing, exercising. I mean, it just puts me in a different, I can be somewhere, you listen to some music and it has a certain place it needs to be. Yeah. Your music sounds like I could have it everywhere, so thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Serena.
Yeah. You wrote this, you're saying before, you wrote this before, of course, the world shifted. And did you write it like years before and then you decided to record it? I think you said 2 years, or you were getting the music together?
Yeah, a few of the tunes. I would say some of the tunes that I wrote for my graduate recital kind of spurred the idea to create a project all together. Yeah. So those were there were 3 tunes from there. So that's where it started. And then the other tunes were written afterwards. Some more recently, some just kind of throughout that gap between me graduating and now.
Yeah, so something to create a good, complete album.
Yeah,
much.
Absolutely.
Nice. Now, are you working on any other projects right now, or are you holding off?
Always working on different projects. For now, my main concern is trying to spread this to the world.
Hey.
But definitely working on the next project already. And then also just trying to continue to find people to collaborate with.
Yeah.
Collaboration is one of my favorite aspects of music.
Yeah.
So anytime I get to work with, whether it be vocalists, right, singers, rappers, poets, artists, right, other musicians, I'm kind of jumping at that opportunity. So there's a few smaller projects, singles, and tracks and stuff that I'm working on with some other people right now.
For sure. I know you're creating some new spaces for that to happen.
Of course.
You have any jam sessions that you could possibly have at your house? Distance-wise?
Not now.
Not right now? Maybe the backyard, no?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, I guess, in the near future. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to play some other vibraphonists in the same vein. Yeah. And then when we get back, we'll play some more music from your album. But ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Brandon Mitchell share his stories and highlight his artistry as a local artist once in Washington, D.C. We'll talk about, why you moved from Washington, D.C. when we get back.
I got you.
But come back into the next half the second half of WNCU Cares Artist Series, and it's going to start at 2 o'clock. I'll talk to you soon. This is Jazz Stage by way of WNCU, or WNCU by way of Jazz Stage. Welcome back to WNCU Cares Artist Series, and you just heard the sounds of Jan Metzger Quartet, and that was Summer Song. And why is this name, why is it important? Well, the reason why is because this is one of the teacher that started, he didn't start it all, but Bob, this is Brandon Mitchell's former teacher, and he was at Elon College. And so let's just talk about him for a little bit and the experiences he gave you or you had with him.
So some of the most memorable experiences I can recall of Jan is actually just hearing him perform. Mm-hmm. Honestly, whether it was on the, university's campus or workshops at other schools. And then there was one particular moment when I was abroad in Italy. Jan Metzger and his wife came over, and so we were playing at a club. I was playing with the local big band over there, and it was like, "Oh, it's Jan Metzger, you should come play a tune with us." He's like, "Okay," and they call the rhythm changes. So I hand him the mallets because I'm playing vibes.
Yeah,
and he just tore it up so bad that I didn't want the mallets back afterwards. I was like, how am I supposed to play the rest of this gig? You know?
Wow.
But no, a super great musician, and even better than that, I think is a really great teacher. The older I get, the more I realize that all performers are not teachers.
That's very
all
true.
Teachers are not performers. You know, it's very rare that you find someone who is so good on both sides of the coin, and he's definitely one of them. Wow.
I hope you called to tell him to tune in today, because you definitely shooting his praises.
Got to give him love for sure.
Rightfully so. Wow. So let's get to, I guess, talking about you said you performed in Italy, and there was a Teatro Piccolo and am I pronouncing that correctly?
A piccolo.
Piccolo in Milan. Yep. Now, is that in conjunction with the Notte Bianca performance?
So it is not. And what happened was, with the Teatro Piccolo performance, we went back to Italy, I think like the year after I studied abroad there.
Yeah.
But we went back with a big band and also a group called the Elon Music Ambassadors. So this was like a kind of hand-picked group. We would kind of arrange our own themes and shows every semester. So
themes, what do you mean by themes?
We've done like movie score music before.
Really?
They've done like just world music in general. They've done a jazz show. They've just all different types of themes that relate back to music.
They really set you up for performance outside of the university, and I guess to help your career out. That's nice.
Absolutely. So I was blessed with the opportunity to be able to join them and perform in this theater. And super cool experience, really nice theater. I believe that there's like 3 theaters in Milan, if I'm correct. So there's kind of like a small, the medium, and then like the large theater.
Oh,
and so this was actually the medium theater that we were playing in. So it wasn't even the biggest one, and I was still, looking up at the ceilings like, wow.
The beauty of the art. I'm certain.
Absolutely. So really cool experience.
Were you overwhelmed when you were playing there for?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Some of the other people that we performed with as well were some pretty big wigs in Italy. Coming out of like the Conservatory of Milan, and both teachers and musicians and students and stuff. So just trying to make sure I feel comfortable and like keep up with them, and whatever the music was that we was playing for the crowd.
For sure. So so it was more so just you reading scores and any jazz improvisation or anything like that combined, or? Yeah,
there would be times where they called the director Maestro.
Okay.
And there would be times he would just point at people. He was a very loose, very free performer. Yeah. So he'll say, okay, you solo.
Were you sweating bullets?
I was not sweating bullets, but I was getting had to pat my head once or twice. Yeah. And I remember one song I was playing congas on, actually. And he was just like, conga solo, like, let's get it.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah, your time to shine.
It ended up being a super fun experience, and definitely one of the most memorable performances.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I know you have your passport, and so it's probably stamped in full. And I know, I pray that the world is shifting and you are able to travel as much as a lot of other people are traveling freely to other places, so they can hear your music. And if anything, if they can hear your music online, because we're global, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
And we can hear you at BrandonMitchell.com.
BrandonMitchellMusic.com.
BrandonMitchellMusic.com.
Yes, man.
And we can also hear you on Spotify.
Absolutely.
And Bandcamp. Where else?
Apple Music.
And
pretty much anywhere else where music is streaming as well.
What, from your home when you're playing killing solo?
Yeah, right.
Teaching your students how to play the vibraphone or the piano. See, you're all over the
little
place.
Rock stars of the next generation.
Look, we're all stars, right? Brandon Mitchell in the studio. This is WNCU Cares Artist Series, and I want to play more from your debut album. You have any albums before this album?
So this is my first album under my name.
Okay.
I did help, and I was the band leader of a group called Small House.
Okay.
And we did release an album back in, I think, 2016. And then since then
the mirror. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where the mirror has come from. Exactly. And since then we've kind of helped, and I've helped to co-produce a few albums and help people produce them.
Oh, so you're a producer.
Well, that's why I say co-produce, right? I'm doing more.
Wait a minute. Don't even. I'm trying to give you your praises. So you're a co-producer.
Yeah, and I say that for a particular reason, because I'm, the one doing more of the assistance with the writing and the arranging, right? The actual composition
important too.
Of the songs. Absolutely. I just don't want people to email me asking to produce their track. Can you put this track together?
You can actually conceptualize the ideas. Yeah, you can, there's so many different ways you can approach it.
Yeah,
so.
And throughout
you're available.
Throughout the quarantine, I've actually been, I got a copy of Ableton, and I've been trying to actually get better with the technology side of things as well. So just trying to, one-up it and try to get it to the musicianship.
That's right. We call it that level up.
Yeah.
Well, if you're interested in getting in contact with Brandon Mitchell, then he's on Facebook. He's on Instagram at B Mitchell, or is it Brandon Mitchell?
It is B_Mitch36.
There we go.
That's my Instagram handle.
And then can we send an email to you, or just sign up for your guest page on your website? Or?
Yeah, if you go to my website, there's a contact page that'll take you directly to my inbox, of my email inbox. So feel free to just get into the contact page there, send any concerns or questions or inquiries that you all have, and I'll make sure to get back soon.
There you go. Who's having a concern with you? Nobody.
Hope not.
I hope not either, because you're so nice. Let's hear Long Ride Home. That's another standard of yours. You want to set us up for this one?
We're going to hear some swinging tunes.
Here we go. Long Ride Home. 90.7 WNCU member-supported radio, ending on Long Ride Home. That's Brandon Mitchell on vibraphone. And you heard Sam King on alto sax, Dorian Dotson on drums, Graham Sloniker on piano, and Chris Mills on bass. That's a long ride home, huh?
Indeed.
Were you on a bus somewhere and you just like, it's taking too long to get here? And
yeah, I was.
I'm just gonna write. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm in your mind.
Absolutely.
So tell me more about that. That's it. That's the story.
So once again, I feel like a lot of my stories always go back to Italy, just because I spent so much of like my summer times over there.
Yeah.
But we would always, whenever we would go to the Jazz Festival to perform, Florence was kind of home base.
Okay.
So we would always travel there, kind of shack up in Florence, and then we would hop on a bus and then travel to whatever town that the festival is actually going to be in.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, if we're in Florence, the festival will be down. I think last year it was in, what's the name of that town slipping my mind?
Oh, you getting old.
Yeah,
Come on, Brandon.
I know, right? But it would be like down towards like the south in like Sicily or something.
Okay.
Or up towards Milan. So we will always have to hop on these long bus rides, charter
Was
bus.
it comfortable? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty comfortable, but as comfortable as a bus can be for you.
Yeah. Because you're tall. So
I am
stretching
tall.
out your
I got really long legs, so it affects me.
Yeah.
So that long ride home, you just want to listen to something good, something grooving.
Yeah.
And that you don't want to turn off. You don't care if it goes on for the rest of the trip.
Oh, man. It sounds like the Modern Jazz Quartet for sure. I said, man, this sounds like something very familiar as we were just talking then. But I heard it before, and I said, it really sounds familiar to me. So were you writing it on the bus? You composed it on the bus, or you just sang it in your phone? And
yeah, no, just kind of singing, right? Just like you said, voice recorders.
Yeah.
Right. There's so many voice memos in my phone that I come back to like later in time.
Yeah, like I wrote that.
Yeah, right. I don't even really remember it that well. But,
Yeah.
that was definitely one of the cases for this song for sure.
Well, it sounds great. I'll hear it again. So let's I noticed that on your album you have some spoken word.
Yeah.
A young lady, what's her name?
Her name is Danielle P. Williams.
Danielle P. Williams. That's her stage name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Danielle P. Williams is on Broken Boxes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you wrote Broken Boxes. It sounds like, why are we breaking boxes? What's going on with that?
So this song is really interesting. And for me, it's actually one of my favorite songs on the album.
Well, let's hold it off. We'll see why it's your favorite song.
Okay.
Let's play it right now.
Okay, yeah.
You ready?
Let's do that.
All right. Broken Boxes, 90.7 WNCU.
Do you feel the slow building of me? Block by block, black limb by black limb, bones stacking like structures made by somebody else. I'm something I don't recognize. Tell me, what's the length and width of my suffering? How long did it take anyone to realize that my agency was gone? That my body is a box they've trapped me in? And I'm working on breaking free. It's time to rip this top off. Feel the breeze on my skin, breathe fresh air and dance because finally people are watching, rejoicing at my newfound freedom. It's time to do the things that I want to do. I'm not anyone's to use. I'm ripped open and beating all on my own. A new body to spin in, to be all the things they never wanted me to be. And what a way to live, by my own doing, in my own way, with my own skin to strut, my body to move and shake. And I threw their broken box of whatever they thought I should be away. I'm here to stay. You cannot break me down.
I broke the box, they want me to be locked in. I broke the box, they want me to be locked in. I broke the box, they want me to be locked in. By me with masking tape to hide my face and spite my ways. My Carol Baskin face inside the gaze that tigers made. My foes is so exotic, no, I'm not so focused on it. So now I've been so childish, guess I'll be a man today. One night I ran away, I met a man who also ran from plans that he just can't escape. We traded lives. I hope he made the bed before he lay and say goodnight. I treat his lady right, his kids I raise him right. I hope he can't complain. It's my window, and I can't stand the rain. But when the thunder reach crescendo, it rumbles through my veins. Reminds me of my pain. Reminds me of the sunshine that surely comes again. With every loss or gain, dang, with the pressure to measure up. My function mainframe, my desires confessional. This ain't a safe age, I guess we done original. We on the same page.
Okay, I hear you. A little rapping, spoken word, Harlem Renaissance.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the art forms kind of collabing and melding into one.
They are. That was the tune entitled "Broken Boxes." Mm-hmm. Now, why do you like this as your favorite tune on this album?
So for me, it was interesting. First things first, I wrote this song a day before we went into the studio.
Okay.
So it was definitely the last thing that was written. And it started
off pressure.
Worked pretty well under pressure.
Yeah, I see.
It started off as just like a little riff when I was practicing. I was like, okay, I kind of like that. Mm-hmm. So build it up, and I went to the guys and was like, hey, can we lay this down? Not totally sure where the whole song was formed yet, but I want to get this down and try to get my good friend Danielle P. Williams on the track.
Yeah.
So I sent it over to her. We kind of had some discussions about it, and then there was where Broken Boxes was really formed or created. It just happened to be super relative because of the social climate that was happening, of course, with the Black Lives Matters, of the past few months.
Yeah.
And that wasn't done on purpose, right? The song was written before that. So I think that instance just showed another like piece of proof to our social climate and, as to what's going on. And we really have to speak out, and we really have to try to break free, from a lot of this oppression, break free and try to be ourselves, no matter what that is, whether it's, us making art as musicians, right? Or, politicians trying to do better for the overall country. Whatever it is, we all have a part to play in it.
Yeah. Well, you're playing your part really well.
I appreciate it.
You have to. I mean, it's almost like you have a responsibility to not prostitute the art, but expose people to something that's unique to you, and you want to share that with people. And I'm glad you're an educator. You can share that with the young babies.
Absolutely.
They need that.
It's all about the future generation.
Yeah.
I did this one assignment it was most of my private students, just because it was summertime, but we did a Black Artist Matters research project.
Wow.
So a lot of times, right, ignorance is where it starts, right? The lack of knowledge.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
if we can help to educate the younger generations about the contributions that, right, some of these great musicians and artists have made, that we've listened to and that we've idolized, right?
Yeah.
Maybe their thought process will be a little different once they do hit, teenagers and kind of become adults for themselves. So very little things, very small things, but I think they can be impactful in the long run. For
sure. And even though, they're musicians, like you're teaching them discipline, skill, how to read, how to write,
how to research.
Right? You're teaching them how to be little super men and women. Oh my goodness, how to research. You're definitely setting them up for a good future. I love it. Now, you've collabed with other artists, the Small House. Tell me about these Small House productions. Is it Small House Productions?
Yeah, so Small House Entertainment was the name of it. The Small House was a jazz fusion funk band, sort of kind of like Weather Report vibes in a sense.
Okay.
And I started it at Elon University. Started with about 3 or 4 members, and then over the course of a year turned into about 8 or 9 members. So it got really big, really fast. I would say Small House is where my true on-the-job musical experiences come from. Where majority of my gigging at a younger age started, where my recording experience started, right, where my touring experience started. all of that stuff, I was kind of there with those guys and doing that. So I always kind of contribute and say thank you to my time with them and our contributions to, I don't know if anybody listened to the music or not, but,
hey.
We kind of did our thing and everybody's still continuing to do their thing kind of individually throughout the country and nowadays as well.
Well, here's your contribution, the mirror. And so should I expect to hear you on vibraphones or percussion?
I will be on vibraphone.
All right. You're listening to Member Supported Radio 90.7 WNCU. Here is the mirror. 90.7 WNCU member supported radio. Oh, let's listen to it. Was a live recording. You got people in the background paying attention. Snarky Puppy out here. You said that was one of your inspirations. Is that what the inspiration for this particular song was?
I would say that was kind of the inspiration just for our band at the time. You know, they made that Family Dinner album, Volume 1, and they were working with all these different musicians and singers and stuff. They had this really big band. They're playing all this cool like funk fusion music, but still with improvisation. So we definitely took a lot of influences from Snarky Puppy, 100%.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. You failed to mention that you were the leader of this group. I thought I missed. I was like, did we talk about that? No, you're the leader of Small House. Well, was a co-leadership, a collective. Yeah. So you started the group and.
I pretty much handled a lot of the booking, trying to land us gigs and just really the PR. I kind of just did really a little bit of everything for the group. But it was weird though, and just like I failed to mention that I was the leader of it because it wasn't really like a, okay, this is my group, this is how it's going to be kind of vibe. Like everybody had their own small ways of contributing.
For sure.
So I guess I just never really even thought about myself as the leader. I'm only the leader because my name was on the LLC. Yeah. It's how I really looked at it.
Okay. Yeah. But you knew that, of course, everybody has to contribute to creating a good sound. Yeah. You just were spearheading it. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to make sure everything stays organized. Right? We're always moving with a direction in a sense, not like wasting time at a rehearsal or something like that.
So it's still happening. Small House is still thriving.
So Small House, everybody is spread around now. We're all in different states and all. So we don't really perform and gig like we used to. Every now and again, we'll still do little trio shows or, something very low key. But as far as Small House as heard, on the Mirror, no, that group is not together anymore.
Okay. I want to play more music from that album. You have about 5 songs on that. And which one would you deem most, I guess the one that you like the most? Actually, you have more than 5. Sorry.
Well, I think
BB&J. Now, you told me that you're a professor, and I didn't mean to cut you off. My apologies.
You're good.
But your professor wrote this song for you all.
Yeah, so he wrote us 2 tunes, this song BB&J, and then he wrote a ballad for us as well. And I think he just did it because he saw us working hard. He saw us making all this music and really trying hard to be a band, get gigs and stuff like that. And I guess that was some satisfaction in there for him too to see that. And so he said that he was at home one day kind of doing some writing and that we came to mind.
Wow.
So he wrote this tune for us and we decided to play it, record it.
Smart move. All right. Well, here's BB&J at Member Supported Radio. You're listening to the stories of Brandon Mitchell, vibraphonist, educator. Let's see. What else do I want to say about you? Co-producer. You want to add to? Musician. Businessman. Philosopher. All right. Here's BB&J, Member Supported Radio, 90.7 WNCU. 90.7 WNCU member supported radio, where you just heard and you were listening to the sound BB&J. That's off of the album Small House. I believe that's the name of the album. No, that's the name of the group, but the name of the album is
Purple Funk.
Purple Funk. Wow, you've been listening to some good stories with Brandon Mitchell. I appreciate you being a guest here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been an excellent time on this lovely Friday afternoon.
Oh, man, I wish you well in your career and everything that you do. I think that you have a very bright future ahead, and come back to the station, will you?
I appreciate that. Yeah, and I certainly will be back. You will be seeing my face.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, we're going to end on this song and a few other songs in the style of the vibraphonist, but I'll talk to you soon. If you want to get in contact with Brandon Mitchell, it's BrandonMitchell.com, BrandonMitchellMusic.com. I'll say it once more, BrandonMitchellMusic.com. And you can also find him on Instagram at bmitchell.
B Mitch 36.
Is there an underscore or anything?
Yes, B_Mitch 36.
Oh, I like that. B_Mitch 36. This is Member Supporter Radio 90.7 WNCU, and we'll talk to you soon. Stay tuned and listen up for DL, Afternoon Jazz with DL, starting right after this show at 3 p.m. She has some great tunes lined up for you, so you don't want to miss. This is WNCU 90.7, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.